Hi guys, now we're gonna do exercise number one. I click on that, we're gonna go on the page. So this exercise is about ordering. So we have a spreadsheet of ordering. So first things, we're gonna create the tables all around. We do all the formatting. So we're gonna go in home and we have all the formatting settings. So let's include all the tables there. We want to create a tables like including this until from A to M, and I'm gonna go down, and I'm gonna go down until the last perfect. So this is the last digit. So in row 85, and we're gonna go here on the to put the borders. We're gonna right click on that, and we're gonna do all borders. Okay, so the top we're gonna select the top row of the table, and we're gonna change the color in gray. So at least is distinguished from the rest. So now you can see we want to resize this one, so we're gonna see all the full name of the ingredients. So I'm gonna double click on the corner between B and C, otherwise I'll click on B and I move it like this. Totally up to you guys. So now you can see this is price. We're gonna have to reset all these numbers in currency. So I'm gonna select all the column there like this, and I go on the top here. So this area where we're gonna change the type of the format of the number. So and we're gonna use the accounting one. So we have the currency on the left side. So now, how you can see, we see the asterisk here on the top there. This happens when there is not enough space to display the text. So what we need to do, we're gonna add to expand the column, so resize the column. So you can either do one by one like this, but the problem is like, how you can see, doing like this is difficult to do the same size. To have very professional spreadsheet, is good to select all the columns together and resize them all on the same size. To do so, we need to click on the first column, drag it until the last. So make sure that you click on the letter none below. You need to be on the letter, so it will select all the column. So after, if you go between two of the column, exactly between the two letters, you're gonna see this cross with the two arrows. We're gonna select like resize just one, and I can see all of them, they get resized the same size. So another things we want to do, we want to make sure that all the figures are centered. So we're gonna use the alignment function there, and as you can see, there is one alignment to left, center, and middle, and one alignment for top, middle, and low. So we're gonna put both in the center. You can see it will center everything in a proper way. So now we have all the table formatted, and now we need just to start to insert uh, formulas. So first things, let's do the formatting for this as well. You see total units is a normal number like that one, and total cost, this is currency as well. So I'm gonna select all the column until the bottom like this, and after we're gonna change to accounting again. So when we're gonna start to insert the number, they will go down on the correct format. Okay, so this is how you can see all these columns, column Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and here is the total units. So it's the total for the week. To do the total, we use the formula sum. So we start, click on the cell, on the top cell. We're gonna start the formulas with equal. We write the sum, open bracket, and after with the mouse, we're gonna highlight all the top row like this, and we do close brackets and we press enter. And doing like this, we have the total of this day or this dish. So rice, brown rice, the total is 3.6. Okay, so total cost, it will be given from the cost, the price here, times the total units. So it's gonna be a simple basic calculation. So equal, we click on the first number, we click on the asterisk for the time, and after we click on the total units. As you can see, you can visualize the formula here on the formula bar. When it's ready, you press enter and it's done. Okay, so now instead to do the formula for each of them, we can just copy the formulas, and we're gonna select the two columns together. So we start from L4 and we drag it until M4. So we selected the both cells together. We're gonna either do Control C and after select everything's down there and do Control V, so copy and paste for all the cells of the column. Otherwise, there is the shortcut here. We're gonna use the fill handle from here. So go here on the corner of the cell. When you see the black cross like this, you click and hold the button and you drag it down, and we're gonna go down until the end of the table like this, and we're gonna have all the results down for us. So we finish with this task here. So now we're gonna do the task underneath here. Okay, so we're gonna use different type of formulas. So on this kind here, we want to count how many dishes are for each category. So we have three category: hot food, salads, and soup. We're gonna use a formula that is called count if. So click on the top one, and we start with equal. The formula is called count if, open bracket. So here you say to select the range. So the range would be all this column here on the top. And after we put comma. So all the time when there's a formula more complex, we need to put the comma between the two parameters. And the second ones, we need to put the criteria. The criteria will be hot food. So any text need to be written between quotation mark. So I'm gonna write quotation mark hot food and close quotation mark. And after we're gonna finish the formula closing the bracket, and we're gonna press enter. And now you can see it's counting our hot food. We're gonna do the same things there. So to make it quicker, because the formula is the same, the only things that change it's the text we're looking for. So I can go there on the 40 on the top block, and I can select the formula like this. I'm gonna copy the formula in the formula bar. I do Control C or right click and copy. After press escape button to remove the selection. Let's go on the second box. We're gonna click there on the formula bar, and we're gonna paste it on there. We're gonna do paste in the second one as well. Okay, so now we just need to change the text on there. So click on the second box, and we need to replace all food with salads. So I'm gonna select the text like this, and I'm gonna just salads. Perfect. And the last one is soups. So when you are on the box, here on the formula bar, it's gonna show the formula. So I'm gonna highlight all food, and instead I write soups. Okay. This is most important things. Make sure that the text that you use it match what is on the cell. Otherwise, it's not gonna give you the right selection. So when it's done, you press enter, and now we got all the three items using the formula count. Okay, so now we want to give the totals for all the stuff on the top. So we use again the formula sum. So we're gonna do the total for each of the column. So equal sum, open brackets, and we're gonna select all the column like this. And we press it. Actually, as you can see, I created the box here inside. So because I'm gonna show you two different things. So let's start from here. So equal sum, open brackets, and we're gonna select all the column like this. I always start from the bottom, I go up because it's easier to control the mouse. Close bracket and enter. So we done our total there. Okay, so now let's do the formula average. So the formula is called average. So equal average, open brackets, how you can see it give you the source, and basically we just need to do the selection like the sum. So I'm gonna start from the bottom and I go on the top there and I close brackets and press enter. So next formula is gonna be the count. So equal count. So count is a formula that will count how many cells contain a number inside. So I'm gonna select all the column like this until the top there. So for each row that contain a number, it will give us a 1. So it will count as a 1. Perfect. So we done the count as well. So now we do the formula max. So equal max. The formula max is gonna provide us with the biggest number. So I'm gonna go up like this until the top there. Close brackets. It's done. So next minimum is gonna give us the minimum number. So equal min open bracket, and I select everything's on there. And I close brackets. So make sure when you want to see the formulas from the video, make sure that you stop the video when it is showing the formula bar so you can see the formula. Okay, press enter, it's done. So now we're gonna use the different type of formulas, which is called count ifs. We want to sum ifs. So we want this one to sum if the uh, like what we are looking for is odd food inside this box. So for each row that is say odd food, it will add up the numbers. So for instance, it will add the numbers in this selection. So it will add all the numbers present in selection. So this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. Okay. So we're gonna start. The formula start with equal sum ifs open brackets. So here is say to select the sum range, so the range where you want to do the sum. So that we want to adapt the numbers from this range there. So I'm gonna select this column there. After it will press comma, and here I ask you criteria range. So basically criteria range is the range of cells where you're gonna find the criteria. So the criteria, for instance, would be odd food. So I select all the table like this. After I press a comma, and after I'm gonna select the criteria. So before we use it that we've written the text on there. There is a shortcut to do this. If you have a formula with like a column with the names correct in here, you could have used the names on there. So, but in this kind of case, let's do it exactly like we done it before. So, hot food. So between the quotation mark, close quotation mark, close brackets, and press enter. You can see it will tell you the total that it counted. So let's do the same things here. So equal sum if s at this open brackets. So we're gonna select the column like this until the top. After comma, we're gonna select the column where we want to find for the criteria until there, comma, and after we're gonna write our criteria, which is salads. So open quotation mark, write salads, make sure that is the text and match. After close brackets, and now you can see it's working properly. So now we're gonna press equal sum if s open brackets. Same things, we're gonna select the column there. we're gonna press comma, we're gonna select the criteria range column, so until there, comma, and after we're gonna write soaps, open quotation mark, and soaps, close quotation mark, close brackets, and it's done. Okay, so now we got all the formulas in here, so we could copy all of them around the across. So for instance, I'm gonna select all of them like this, so all the columns there, and we do the same things we done before. We're just gonna use the field handle like this, and we're gonna drag it until there, and make sure that this one here, we're gonna change it as accounting. Okay, how you can see, there is just a little problem. So I'm gonna write what is it on there. So I'll use the shortcuts. I'm gonna do equal, and I'm gonna do like the linking cell. So it's gonna display the same text as above. And here I can just using the fill handle, so it's gonna copy because it's a linking formula. Okay, how you can see, uh, this one, everything is perfect. There is just one problem. As you can see here, when we use the sum if, from here onwards is giving an error. Why do you think it's giving an error? It's giving the error for one simple reason. Because uh, in this kind of case, like we used a formula. So let's see how it works, the formula. So I'm gonna click on the top one, and how you can see, when I click on that and I click, I'm gonna go on the top bar. So double click on the cell, click inside the formula bar, and now you can see it will highlight the selection on the same color and of the boxes. So you can match the selection in text with the selection in boxes. So in this kind of case, the blue one, it will select this box here, and the red one, it will select the box there, which is the range where you're gonna look for the criteria. So let's see what's happened on the second one, on the second column, why it didn't work out. So double click on there. You can see we have the boxes in there. Let's click on the formula bar, so the text is gonna be highlighted as well. You can see, before it was the column E, now is moved in column F. So you just switch one, like you moved one column. Same thing is this one. This one move one column. But the problem is, like, we would like this one to keep fixed on there. So in this kind of case, we need to use something that is called absolute reference. Do you see here on the top? So basically, when we want to fix a column or a selection, we need to use the dollar sign. To make it quicker, because here we need to put the $4 sign, one before the D, one before the 4, one before the D, one before the 85. Like, we could select the text like this, and we can press the button F4 on the keyboard like this, and now you can see it will put the dollar sign on the automatically. Also, because the selection need to be moved on there, I could uh, click on the box there and just drag it on there. So you see I move it manually. You can just move the box around like this, or otherwise you could go on here and you could replace any D for a C. So I'm gonna go on the formula bar, and I'm gonna click on the C, and I click from the C. So we just need to change the D for C, and you can see that it moves. You can use either way, which one you feel more comfortable. When it's done, you press enter, and we fix our formula on here. So now we need to do the same things for the next one as well. You can see we have the same issues. So we're gonna have to make sure that the selection is red. So this one, it has the dollar sign. So I highlight all the red text. I press F4 and it put all the dollar sign. And I'm gonna replace the D for C. So So using the arrow sign, I'm gonna move around the cell, or you can use the mouse. So when it's done, you press enter and this one is fixed. Now we're gonna do the same things on the last one. So double click on the cell, click on the formula bar, and we're gonna have to fix the red one again. So make sure that you highlight the text in red, press F4, you put the dollar, and we're gonna replace the D for a C above the reference. So doing like this, as you can see, you move the column, I press enter, and it's done. So now we fixed all the formulas here. And last things, I would like to make you use another formula, which is called mode. The formula modes repeat a value that is more frequent. So let's click on 93. So we want to create a new line between 92 and 93. So we click on 93, right click, you do insert, and you will create the column. Here on the cell D93, you can see from the top there. So when you click on that, we're gonna write mode and colon, and we're gonna put our formulas on here. So the formula is called mode. So equal mode here. So mode, double click, and we're gonna do our selection. So we're gonna select the we're gonna select the column as we done before. So doing like this and close bracket. So doing like this is gonna go inside the column, our formula, and you're gonna see which number repeat most. And after you press enter, so mode is another type of average. So the mean average we used before, you just do the addition of the numbers and divide by the number or number that you added. This one, instead, it just repeat, check the numbers and which one you repeat most. For instance, here the number you repeat most is 0.70 because there's one here and there's one here on the top. Okay, so now we got this one there. We're gonna copy and paste using the fill handle again, and make sure you can see we have a few different issues. Here we need to copy the same formatting on there. We can either go on there on the top and using the number formatting from here and take accounting. Otherwise, we can select one cells with the right formatting, and we go in home, and we're gonna use this option here. It's called Format Painter. So this little brush, what it does, it copy the format from one cell, and when you click on it, you see when it's highlighted like this, is being selected. After you go on the cell that you want to change the formatting and copy the formatting from, paste the formatting from the selection, you click on there, you can see it fixed the selection automatically. So another problem here, you can see there is a problem here for the error. So when we get this error here, which is called NA, so not applicable, is because the formula, it doesn't find the right condition. For instance, this one is related to formula mode. So formula mode come inside here and it will check for number that repeat. As you can see here, there is a 2 and 1.5. So there's no number that repeat. So that's why it's giving us the error. So to avoid these kind of errors, when we have any chances that a condition is not going to be met, we need to use a formula which is called if error. So I'm going to click, because the formula is the same for all the row. I'm going to click on the first cell, and we're going to modify the formulas here. So we need to add the formulas on the front, which is called if error. So the formula I put after the equal, and I'm gonna write if error. You can see find the formula here, and what you want is just to write at the end a value that to give in the case the formula doesn't meet the requirement. So I press open brackets. You can see here the value that we use is the previous formula. So we use the previous formula as a value. After it's said to put a common, and we need to add a number, a value that we want to show in the case of error. So instead to show the error advice, it will put a number. So In this kind of case, I want him to put at 0 when there is error, so it will show at 0 if the condition is not met. After close brackets, press enter. After I'm gonna go there in the cells E93, the first one of the lot, and I'm gonna copy and paste for all of them. You can see now instead to show the error, it showed the 0. Okay, so now last things we're gonna do, we're gonna create we're gonna create a graph. So we're gonna select the tables like this. We're not gonna use the total. We're not gonna include the totals. We're gonna just select including this column here and including that one there. And instead to do insert graph with the option here, we can create a graph in a different page. To do this, we just need to press F11 on the keyboard and it will create automatically the graph. So as you can see, the graph is created and it created chart 1. So I'm gonna just move this one after the exercise and I'm gonna call it chart exercise 1. So at least we know that is for the exercise. Other things, let's change the color of the tab so we know that both of them related to the same exercise. I'm gonna go on the first one. I do right click, tab color. We're gonna, for instance, this one, we want this one to be in green, for instance. Second tabs as well, we do the same things. Right click on the tab color from here. We use the same color. So you can see they're gonna be the same color. So you know that they are related for the same exercise. Okay, so let's have a look on the graph. We're gonna do some setting on the graph. So first things in there, we're gonna change the title. So double click on the box and after we're gonna write ordering. So this one is the graph about the ordering. Okay, so here you can see it give us all the values like this, and it put on the agenda the days. So it will show the totals in base of the days. Yeah, so I like this graph like this. So it will give us the average uh, and you can compare each day. So for instance, I know that the best average is on the Wednesday. So to make be able to give more purpose to the graph, we can add, for instance, the data label. So let's go here on the top, click on chart design. We can change the color as well as the design. In this area, it's gonna give us more type of design. So if you find something that you like, for instance, like this, you see that this one you put the labels on there, or otherwise this one uh, it give in black, so it's easier for your eyes, and or this one is in gray. You just need to choose that one that it make more sense for you. Okay, for instance, I like this one because you can see here you have the axis and you have the axis there as well. And also there is the data label. So let's do some changes. When you want to do some changes on the graph, we're going to use this option here, is add the chart elements. For instance, on the data labels, let's see what option there. So I got that here, I say inside ends. So I like outside ends the data label. So I'm going to click on this one. So it will bring them at the end. Also, uh, let's see other option here. So we can also do some changes on the value, show line legends, okay, separator, okay, outside ends number, okay. Okay, text option, text align, text field. Okay, from here, it doesn't show like, okay. We're gonna go on there and we're gonna do the alignments. So for instance, in the text direction, we can change. So for instance, we can put the text rotate 270 degrees. So make sure that you select all the labels first. So for instance,